Greetings, community. It's Kevin from 1-2 Comic Talk, and it is a pleasure to be here again on another Thespian Theater Thursday. Today's reading is not only a subject that I think is most poignant at this time, but it's a privilege, actually, to be able to not only do this reading with the cast in which that we do, but more importantly, to be able to have the ability to do it with the individual who wrote it, and it's just a privilege to do so. And I would love to be able to introduce Mr. Johnny Parker.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
How you doing, sir?
Good, excellent. Thanks for inviting me on. It's a true privilege. Appreciate being here.
It's a privilege to have you here. We look forward to discussing this, after which we do the reading. You'll be doing and partaking some of the reading, and I've already now got to read this twice and listen to the reading twice, and damn, our audience is going to enjoy this. But without further ado, let's bring in the rest of our cast. Let's bring in Mark and Powell.
Hey, Kev.
Hey, Paula. Hey, Mark.
I'm really happy that we could do this book today. Johnny's like a friend of mine, and this book is is not like, and I've known him for a couple years now, and like it's a pleasure to do this book, and it's so very important for our society to understand this story today.
And I totally agree. And like I stated, we're going to have the ability to actually further discuss that and get into that. And let's bring in another cast member. Let's bring in Erica.
Hi.
How you doing, Erica?
Good. How are you? Excited to be here.
Oh, Erica's
a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, Erica's a friend of mine from high school who does a ton of theatrical stuff.
We did theater together, Guys and Dolls.
Lots of Disney stuff too.
Yeah, we have one more cast member to actually fill it out. Let's bring in our final cast member.
And that's the way we all came in, the crazy bunch. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm super excited to be here. I'm so happy you guys hit me up and wanted me to be a part of it. And Johnny, you made a fucking kick-ass comic. It was amazing. It made me go. It made me go like, oh yes. People need to know this. Yes, so I'm really excited to be a part of it.
Well, sure, appreciate that. Thank you. High praise. Hey
Kev, do you want to talk about all their stuff?
Well, what I'd like to first do is I want to go ahead and bring in what we'll be actually reading. Go ahead and everyone get an idea of what we'll be discussing and going through the reading, which is the Black Man's Guide to Getting Pulled Over. Now, our cast members is, if we can start from the top down from the bottom. All right. Let's first start with you, Johnny.
Just talk about, so my name, how's it going, everybody? My name is Johnny Parker. I'm a writer, comic writer, and also YouTube personality on that hashtag show. I write a lot of different comics, so like Black Man's Guide to Getting Pulled Over is one of them. I have some other books, Blackfist and Brown Hand, Broken. And later on, we're going to talk about exactly why this book was created, but I'm getting the sense, if you see the title, you kind of get a sense of why this was inspired to be put out there or whatnot. But yeah, I'm a comic writer who loves to tell stories that are genuine and passionate, and this was one that I definitely felt I need to share with the world.
All right. Hey, Mark, Powell, how about you guys?
The community knows us. You just skip us because they know I helped to produce the Thespian Theaters Thursdays with you, and they know Paola's my wife. Let's say hi to Erica.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm Erica. I am a blogger, writer, and sometimes actress. I have a theatrical background, and I've been doing quite a bit of theater lately. Surprisingly, in spite of theaters being closed. Zoom is amazing. YouTube is amazing. So grateful for that. I mentioned I'm a blogger. Did I say that already? I'm not sure. I'm also a blogger at Erica Enchanted. You can follow me on Instagram or castlecravings.com. I'm really excited about this story in particular. I think that if you're watching this and you are Black, there's going to be a lot of head nodding, a lot of relatability. I definitely relate. I definitely feel very close to this material. And if you're not Black, I feel like it could be very eye-opening. So I'm really excited to be part of it.
And Julian.
Yeah, it's my turn. Cool. Hi guys, I'm Julian Green. You can call me Juju because now you're all my friends if you're meeting me. I have a lot of hats. I'm actually a copywriter at 72 and Sunny, but what I like to do, my passion is films and movies. And so I have a TikTok where I review movies in 15 seconds or less, give you very detailed, very insightful film critiques about favorite characters, favorite films. And I do all films, not just comic book or dramas or comedy. So you get the whole breadth of everything. And I also have, if you don't like 15 seconds, I also have a YouTube channel where I rant for like 15 to 20 minutes at a time. So if you're into that, check it out. You can check me out on Straw Hat Goofy on TikTok and Straw Hat Movies on YouTube and Instagram. I'm also a comic book fan if you couldn't tell.
Yeah. Matter of fact, community, we were all comic based. So just so you know, they're actors. They love their film. We're all geeks. We're all nerds. We're all in the same family here, guys. I just want to shout out to the chat really quick. Hey, Jordan, appreciate you being here. K Titus, dude, I mean, you're one of our biggest supporters, and we appreciate you all the way from Japan. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. And hey, Rod, love you as always, man. You're the man. You're gonna love this story, Rod. And again, everyone for being here, we appreciate you. And I say we bring in our book, and without further ado, I say we get into it. The Black Man's Guide to Getting Pulled Over. Nito Comics presents The Black Man's Guide to Getting Pulled Over. Johnny Parker II, writer and creator, Nito Comics at gmail.com. Instagram, JohnnyP313. Twitter, JohnnyP313. Felipe Horace Art, Instagram at sHorace. Kayla Ruffin, colorist. Deviant Art at List the Lioness. Scott Ludwig, lettering and production. Deviant Art at Scott J. Ludwig.
Okay. This guy is for all people of color, men, women, my friends in the LGBTQI community, and those of low economic status. This is for all of us that have been the victims of prejudice from our law enforcement, whether you're a Muslim person just trying to catch a flight or a refugee being detained for seeking asylum. We're all in the struggle together. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Stop hitting me, mother. I'm the one that called. Anonymous, but obviously black.
So let's set the scene. You're out on the town, enjoying good times with your friends and lady. It's late, so you call it a night.
And then I'm standing there looking like, how the hell you gonna nominate the movie for Best Picture, but not nominate the director or any of the cast? Hashtag Hollywood's still in that bull. Hashtag bury me in the ocean with all the black people that should have won.
In the car, you reminisce about the night's adventures. I can't believe that fool only tried to tip $5, trying to say they took too long with his water.
Erica?
Oh, I think we lost her.
Oh, no.
Lost Erica?
Well, give us 5 seconds, community. She is back.
I was just saying, man, I can't believe that fool only tried to tip $5, trying to say they took too long with his water.
That's your boy, though, right?
Sadly, yes. But that's only because J. Cole hasn't replied to any of his requests to hang out. You stop by the bookstore. You both like to read.
Look, you can keep pretending to read that Men's Fitness, or you can just go grab that new Wizard Boy book. I know you want to read it.
Not the same things, but that's okay. And that's when he knew she was the one.
Boy, hush.
You drop her off. And you proceed home, and you're on top of the world. You're pretty sure the only people having a better night than you are a few select NBA players and maybe Drake. Then it happens. You tense up. You know you did nothing wrong, but you know you're not a criminal. You know you're not a criminal, but still, no matter how many times this happens, and it happens a lot, you always feel the same fear. Regrettably, you've been through this so much, you know exactly what to do. Step 1, make sure the ignition is off. Don't give them a reason to think you're going to run away. Step 2, turn the radio off. Step 3, roll the window down. Step 4, keep your hands on the steering wheel where the officer can clearly see them. You want to reach for your insurance and registration, but no, don't make them think you're going to hide anything. Just wait. It's safer that way. You know what can happen if you don't.
Oh, can't hear you, Johnny.
Sorry. I said, can't be fucking around with the police, man. Get pulled over for speeding, might get shot. Trying to get a snack late at night, might get shot. Trying to apply for a home loan with 5.85% interest rate, definitely going to get shot. Can't have brothers out here getting fair and equitable loans.
As the officer walks up, your mind wanders to conversations you had with your father growing up. And remember, you always want to be polite and respectful. Yes, sir, and no, sir. You start yelling and cussing and getting angry, you're sure to be locked up, or worse. You wonder what conversations white parents have with their kids.
And then you know the birds and the bees.
What's a taint? And why does Bobby say if Susie likes me, she'll go straight for it?
Carol!
Then you start thinking about what Asian parents say to their kids.
And you just have to ignore them when they say ignorant comments about bad driving and being good at math. And just remember that when a son of a bitch is on your operating table, they'll be grateful we immigrated over here, working 5 jobs, and you drove 5 miles to the hospital with your left blinker on just so you could give them a triple bypass.
Which, of course, makes you think what Latino parents say to their kids.
And how the hell are they going to tell us to go back home when this is our land in the first place? They took boats to get here. We walked here from our house. Who's really the immigrant?
And of course, as your bae has schooled you, mothers have to have some of the toughest conversations with their daughters.
Never set your drink down. Don't trust anything with a penis. When you walk home, always try to be with a friend. Don't trust anything with a penis. If you don't have a friend there, call someone on the phone and talk to them until you get home. And as always, don't trust anything with a penis.
But what if it gets cut off?
Shit, if they're willing to cut it off, then they're down. Just remember to teach them everything that I taught you.
Okay.
It's all the small things.
Is this your car?
Yes, sir. It's mine.
Where are you going?
It's not always about the shooting you in the back, or being clearly beaten to death with a billy, or being nearly beaten to death with a billy club, or even sprinkling a little bit of crack on you on the scene. Home. I live around the block here.
Really?
Most of the time, it's the indignity of implying you can't own this car or can't live in this neighborhood, or a lot of times, just live. Yeah, I've been living around here for about a year now.
Okay. License? Be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Now, this is the important part. Don't be angry. Don't be angry that this is the 3rd time in 2 months. Don't be angry that your non-Black friends don't understand why you worry when you get pulled over. Don't get angry at the fact that Mike Brown, Eric Garner, Michael Brown Jr., Tanisha Anderson, Tamir Rice, Walter Scott, and too many more have been murdered without true justice being served. Don't be angry that people give more of a damn about a lion or a gorilla than they do about a human being being oppressed by a system. Don't be angry with the Black millionaire entertainers and athletes that aren't out protesting in the streets, that aren't calling out for boycotts, that aren't giving real statements to the press for fear of losing shoe deals or Instagram followers. Do be angry that they don't see the education you worked for or the morals your family taught you. Don't be angry that all they see is the color of your skin, and at the end of the day, that's all you are to them. A pigment, a statistic. And don't be angry because of this won't be the last time. Don't be angry.
Here you are. We pulled you over because welcome to Guess the BS excuse for why you got pulled over this time. Your options include number 1, you match a description. Number 2, your car matches a description. Number 3, you were hugging the lane. Number 4, you were checking all the cars in the area. Number 5, a lot of cars like yours are stolen. This was honestly for your benefit. Number 6, we got a call about drugs, alcohol, hookers, immigrants, Ewoks, out-of-date milk in the area. Number 7, and just remember, it's never this one. Let's just be honest. We saw you were Black and we assumed you would be doing something illegal. Our bad. This one's on us.
I'm gonna go with 7, Alex.
Sorry, we would happily accepted 1 through 6, even the milk, but while 7 does appear to be like the right answer, and it probably is, honestly, no one is ever going to admit it, and don't worry, no one ever goes home a loser. Tell him what he's won, Susan.
Well, Mike, he's won a government-funded, all-expense-paid trip to jail.
Oh, see, no one ever goes home a loser. Good luck in there. Protect your neck. Yeah, so the reason I pulled you over was something 1 through 6. You have a good night.
Try not to be angry, but be thankful for the strides that were made and the people who died to get you the opportunities you have today. But don't settle. Teach the next generation to stand up for themselves. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, I know we usually do fun skits and stuff, but given recent events, we thought we should let everyone know about their rights when they get pulled over by the cops. But right after, we're gonna shoot Chris with a taser.
Wait, what?
Use your outlet to help your cause, or...
And yo, remember that they're killing us too. And the only way it's gonna stop is if we support each other. Black and brown unity can change the world.
Stand up for each other. Take a stand, or...
I mean, come on. You know he probably did something illegal.
Actually, I don't think that matters. Even if they did, a minor misdemeanor isn't a death sentence. Someone shouldn't be scared for their life when they're pulled over for a traffic stop. It's really easy to talk down when you know it won't happen to you. What are you going to say next? She shouldn't have worn that outfit, or if she didn't want to get raped?
Just say something. Change is never easy. Change can be difficult, but change isn't impossible. The key is not to give up. Remember, you'll lose every fight until you fight back. Create change. Clap, clap, clap,
Wow.
clap, clap.
Yay!
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for that. It sounded amazing.
Masterfully done. That was so impressive. Wow. Johnny Parker, thank you very much for this privilege to be able to do such a wonderful story.
Well, appreciate it, but thank you guys. Everyone here did an amazing job. Thank you. It's so crazy to hear my words like said out loud like that. Like it's just a real experience. Like, wow, this sounds way better than it did in my head, man.
Now, everybody. Again, I want to thank you guys. And before we will end, which we're still going to talk about this, I want everyone to give themselves another introduction and tell where the community can find you. Before we do, Johnny, I think this is something that one, like I mentioned earlier, it's very poignant. It's something that is very relevant, and it's very easy to be able to point fingers and say they're a cause of my problem or they're a cause of my problem. And it can be anything from a race, a religion, any form of idea, belief, anything that sometimes people just don't understand. So aside from all these aspects of reasonings why people feel the way they do, or want to separate themselves and think that other people are their problems, what I really want to address is the overall tone of the book. So there are things in the book, people in the book, that instances have happened. So I would only make the assumption with probably everyone here on the panel that there is something that touched them personally in this book. Now, as a writer, I want to know, one, what were some of the aspects that led to the writing of this book, and two, how was some of the personal aspects, if you don't mind sharing with the community, that actually directly reflect the tone of this book.
For sure. Good question. So pretty much this book is based upon an experience that I had about like 5 years ago. I just bought my first newish car. And when I say newish, it had like 70,000 miles on there instead of like 200,000 miles. And as I'm leaving off the lot, like, I don't have plates yet because, I just bought it or whatever. And so I turned to the guy. I was like, wait, what do I do when I get pulled over? And the guy looks at me and says, oh, no, you're good. The cops know. They understand it's new. I'm like, no. I'm black. What do I do when I get pulled over? And then he had to give me the rundown. And literally that night, I got pulled over, like immediately, as soon as I was driving around El Segundo. And then for the next month, until my plates came, I got pulled over about like 6 to 8 times. And it was just ridiculous. And again, I got filled with like all this anger and this like resentment. And the thing about this was because, again, like living where I do like in LA, like I live like near the South Bay area. And my comic book shop, the Comic Book in Manhattan Beach, is in the South Bay area. And literally every time I leave, you got to go over in that area. I'm consistently like being pulled over or harassed or so forth. And so honestly, instead of getting angry, I was like, well, you know what? I need to try to work to solve this problem. I need to try to work to figure out like something I can do to kind of help and expose this issue and everything like that. And that's where the comic came from. It was, again, from all those emotions and things that I've been feeling, everything I've been seeing in the news, and then so many victims of police like violence and whatnot, that I wanted to tell the story. And so I did the version of it about a zine version about 4 years ago, and then afterwards, like, a lot of people were resonated with. And then I wanted to do like a more full comic version, and so I hit up Felipe. Felipe came through. He loved the story, and he did amazing artwork, as you saw. I hit up Ruffin to do like the coloring and everything like that, and then we just put this book out there to share with people.
And it is an amazing book, and I wanted to ask you somewhat the same question, Erica. I mean, now that you've read this a few times and you've acted it out, I'm sure it kind of resonates not only personally with you, probably from personal experiences, but you now have a direct communication with someone that not only said this is directly happened to me, but you share that experience by reading and now acting out that experience. How's that kind of feel and sit with you?
I mean, like I said before we started, I feel like if you are Black and you consume this material, it's so relatable. You've probably lived this yourself, and if you haven't, then you probably know someone close to you that has. I've definitely been pulled over by police without reason. I've definitely had a gun pulled on me by police officers without reason. I see it happening all the time. All of my brothers, it's happened to them. My friends, it's happened to them. So it's really important. And I mean, obviously we see in the news and the uprising that's happening right now is that people are finally tired of it. So I think that just through more education, and something like this is actually really important because it's educational, but at the same time, it's entertaining. You think you're picking up a comic book, but then you're also kind of getting schooled at the same time.
Yeah.
So I really it's really cool. And I also, Johnny, I really like the mom bit in there as well, because as a woman, that's another issue. Like, that's not even what this is about, but I like how you just kind of slid that in there too, about that's another thing that is happening, and like with women's safety and things like that. So just all the different, I'm a mom as well. So that whole little scene of conversations you have to have with your kids, definitely had to talk to my son over and over about what happens if you get pulled over by the police, what happens if you get stopped by the police. It doesn't matter what your friends are doing, you are brown, which means that you have a different set of rules.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, the reason why I put that in there is because I want to show that cross-sectionality, kind of like the open the book speaks to, is that like as minority or people who are oppressed in this country, we all go through some different type of struggle, but it's still a struggle in a form of systematic oppression. And I just wanted to bring that to light and shed that to light because as a Black person, like I have a great fear of the police. Again, as a woman, is like again, there's like all these like different things out there you have to worry about, like walking home at night. And then for the Asian American Latino community, there's like all these different things. So for that part, I just want to show the intersectionality is that we're all going through this stuff, but again, if we work together, we can finally start to solve a lot of these issues. And that's kind of feel what's like really happening with the world right now is everyone's standing united. And that's what really is causing this change. And I really genuinely hope that if this continues on, we can start to address more and more of these problems that exist within our society and try to make this actual fair place for everyone.
Absolutely.
Now, Julian, I know that they've kind of answered the question their own way, so I will slightly tweak it for you. When you were reading it for the first time, because you recently joined us the other day and did our first rehearsal. What were some of the first things that you were able to relate to immediately as you're reading? Because you didn't really you had no exposure prior to the reading, so it must have kind of hit you in a totally different way as you're reading and at the same time. So if you kind of touch on that, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, it definitely hit me in a way that was like I'm not going to call it nostalgia, but it was like the opposite of nostalgia. You know, when you have like that memory that's just so like you kind of forgot about or you like kind of suppressed it. And then when you have like that trigger that like kind of just slaps you in the face like really hard, like I kind of reacted to it that way where it made me remember my own interactions with the police and those negative interactions. And the first time that I realized that the color of my skin is what's going to have me being stopped by the police often in my life, especially like the older I got, the more it was going to happen. Similar to Erica, I've had guns pull me on police before for no apparent reason. There was a week where I was stopped at least, my wife and I, we were stopped about 4 or 5 times in the same week. And I've had those instances where I definitely fear for my life. So there was a moment in the comic that, Johnny, I really appreciate you putting in there, is the moment when the police officer walks up to the car and he's thinking about like all the steps that he has to do and what he has to go through in order to like just survive the encounter. I remember very specific, and the part that really spoke out to me in that was the bullshit excuse, which is like, do they practice this type of stuff? Is this something that they just kind of like have in their back pocket that they just do to hide it? Like I remember specifically when I was stopped by the police officer, they went through the whole spiel. They asked to check inside my car, check my trunk, all of that. And then when it was all said, and mind you, there was like at least 3 cop cars, 6 officers, 2 to a car. And they actually asked me if I had been to prison before. And then they challenged me when I said no. And when it was all said and done, they tried to give me the same bullshit excuse, like, oh, we thought there were break-ins in the area. And one of the police officers, I guess he was just kind of fed up with it. And he just pretty much said it and said, you were stopped because you were Black in a predominantly white and Hispanic neighborhood. It looks weird. And that was the first encounter of many where I was just kind of like, wow, like, tell me how you really feel, you know? So it was just that scene that just triggered that memory for me.
And I think, again, just sharing those few instances really has a small, inkling. There was many names that were mentioned before, and the names were only mentioned because these are the people that were recognized and were caught being abused. There's hundreds of thousands of people constantly being abused for one way or another, and it's not even just by quote unquote the traditional essence of law enforcement. And this is what I'm getting at. Even on campuses, school campuses and so forth, they have their own police. So it's up to them how they want to discriminate, which in cases, many times they do, on how they also want to conduct themselves. So this is why I'm going over to Mark and Powell. I'm sure you guys have even seen, instances where you've encountered, certain things yourself that you can relate even into what you've just read on your own campuses. Now, you don't have to disclose the campus at all. I'm not asking you to do that. What I'm asking you to do is, could you just tell us some experiences that you've had that you thought that you wouldn't have because of where you were?
I think that's a tough answer. That's a tough question to answer.
Yeah.
Only because one, I'm a white presenting Latina, so I think I've been very fortunate that a lot of the stuff I've encountered, I've been privileged not to have to encounter as much, and recognizing that. But recognizing that the population I serve, majority here on this community, are of other Latino descent and African American descent, with some Polynesian and Asian Pacific Islander mixed in. So our camp, we've been really fortunate that with our campus, because we know it's mostly diverse, the experiences here that I witnessed or that I've heard of have not been to the yet extreme. But that's not to say that they don't exist. Like there's going to always be microaggressions, especially when the police are brought in from different areas. I think we're also really lucky that some of them are also minorities themselves. But from what I can experience for one hand was a few years back working my current position, in regards to if we ever need to call in a situation or someone's here and we're like, they're not supposed to be here, oftentimes they say, just go on the safe end and call the police. And I remember having a situation where we had a guest, and he was a black student, but not staying in the complex. And the first thought, because my boss got really upset for me, to be like, why didn't you just call the cops when he was giving you a hard time? And I failed to be really honest to my boss to say, like, I didn't want to. I don't think it's appropriate to bring the officers into something that I could really have talked down. And it was interesting to hear that too. And forgive me if this sounds odd or if I make a mistake somewhere, but my boss at the time was also an older African-American male. So to hear him to be like, well, just call the cops. I'm like, but you know what's going on right now in the climate. He's just a kid that we can talk to. And then when he came, because I ended up having to call him, like, hey, this kid's giving me a hard time. Since you're my higher up, can you come and just talk to him? And he came, and of course his demeanor changed, right? Which was representative of just the defensive piece, right? He saw this light skin. I think at the time my hair was like purple, so there was no real way to tell if I was a Latina or another white person. And so I could tell why the defensiveness changed, but it was also really odd to hear my boss to be like, just bring in law enforcement right away for this situation if it happens again. I was like, but he wasn't a danger. Like, I don't understand this need for over policing.
Which again, you're touching on the subject that even saying, even an aid, even when you're asking for aid, you still have the fear of how do I conduct myself even when I'm asking for aid, which was the introduction of this book.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
It's just, there wasn't a fear in asking for aid. It was more just the concern that I didn't want to have a need to escalate the situation, because I feel when you bring in officers, just based off the history, it escalates it. It's the reality of it. If you bring these people that have had a history, of misconduct and corruption and abuse to a like 19-year-old kid who's experienced way more than I have in the world in certain areas, like that's like re-traumatizing, and it's not needed to be over policed. And so that's like the closest I can think of. I think right now the challenge has been just responding to a lot of our students who are now feeling really upset, and with everything that's come up for them, right? Our majority of our population, besides being a minority, are also from the ages of 17 to 25, and so they're feeling a lot of the stuff that's going on, and just how is our campus responding. And I think we've been really fortunate that we have a lot of people on our campus that have been pushing, like, no, we need to be there to represent them. We need to have make changes. We had a list of changes coming down from one of our departments of how we can help, like, our back faculty, because they're underserviced or underappreciated and pieces like that. And so that they're witnessing it, and the best that we can do as educators is to be able to provide that change and just listen to them, because I don't think people listen.
Yep. And that was actually going to be my point, is listening. Because as a white person, I have enough opportunities to talk. I need to shut the fuck up and listen. And that's my responsibility right now, is to let the voices of people of color be heard over mine. And if I have the opportunity to bring their voices forward, that's my obligation right now, because I don't have a reference point. I've never had a cop pull a gun on me. Ever. I've never been pulled over without reason. I've been pulled over less than 5 times in my life. and they've all been minor traffic violations, and I've been let go of and gotten no tickets on all of them. And I don't know.
And actually,
I'm sorry?
to expand on that. Well, no, to expand on that, what I want to say is, yeah, I want to just remind me, but I want to touch on that because I have a reverse story to expand on that. So please, Mark, finish.
Yeah, but like it's. I'm just saying that there's these story. My story is not happening the same way to people of color. Like their stories are the complete and utter opposite, and that's disappointing to me. And I'm glad, I'm privileged that I have the opportunity to have 3 people here who are actually, and Paola, that are like amazing individuals, and I get to push their talents forward today, that are not white. Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Right. Well, what I want to touch on and tell people is, look, Mark, you know, because you're my brother. Rob and I, my older brother, we grew up on the corner, essentially, of Inglewood and Compton. Now, I don't know if you know this, Johnny, but Compton Boulevard here, they changed back in around 87, 88 to Marine because they didn't like the name.
Oh.
All right. So what I'm getting at is, yes, I was that one pretty predominantly white. You know, I mean, I have Latin, I have Indian, but I'm pretty predominantly white. What I'm getting at is I had remember instances where we would be playing football and all my friends, they were being held at the curb with their hands behind their back and their feet crossed. I'm sure many of you know this position. I was told to go home. That's how the cops conducted. So that's just, yeah. I'm not saying that's right at all. I'm telling you, I've experienced this on the opposite side where my friends were held, but I was told to go home because of my skin.
And you were playing with them.
So,
yeah.
And right. And I grew up in the same corner, Compton and Inglewood. And we were all hanging out together, but because of how I looked, I always was told to go home. So, hey, community, I wanted you to meet a splendid cast. I wanted to be able to have the privilege to be able to meet Johnny Parker and bring to us a fabulous book. We will be conducting an interview soon, so please be looking forward to that. But before we do, Johnny, can you please tell where everyone can find you on Instagram, Twitter, and if you have a YouTube or Facebook account?
For sure. Well, for sure. So my Instagram and Twitter are JohnnyP313. If you go there, you go to my link tree. I'm actually giving the book away for free for right now. That's going to stop on Tuesday. I'm doing a fundraiser right now for the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. So if you get the book, you can get it for free. But if you have an optional donation to give, you get whatever you want, whatever you feel comfortable with. And then all that money is going to go to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, which is helping the Canada fight and stand up against injustices like this on a consistent basis. So again, you go to Gumroad, JohnnyP313, and you'll find all my books there, and you'll find the Black Man's Guide. You'll be able to get it free, and please don't leave a donation if you can. If you want to just find more stuff from me, you can find me at JohnnyParkerCan'tLose.com. Again, that's JohnnyParkerCan'tLose.com. And then you can find me every Sunday on that hashtag show with my buddies Neeson and John, and we're reviewing wrestling at THS Wrestling. And doing some other cool nerdy stuff over there too. And again, just want to say thank you all for having me. And again, thank you for reading my work. It was an absolute pleasure to be here with you all tonight.
Pleasure's ours, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I just dropped your thing in the chat.
For sure.
I think that's you.
Yep.
All right. Hey, same thing to you, Erica.
Once again, I'm Erica. You can find me at Erica Enchanted on Instagram. I'm also a family entertainment blogger at castlecravings.com. And something that might be interesting for some of you if you like theater is this Saturday, I'm actually going to be part of a reading for Cola Theater, which is Keeping Our Legacy Alive. They do readings of Black plays by Black playwrights using Black actors, and they're shows that haven't really gotten their fair due on stage. So this weekend's show is A Song for Coretta, And you can find the information for that on my Instagram page.
Oh, for sure. Dope.
Cool.
Awesome.
And hey guys, this is Juju. Make sure you can find me predominantly kicking around on TikTok. I do movie reviews in 15 seconds. I also take suggestions. So if you have a favorite movie, let me know and I will review it in 15 seconds. I'll try to. There's a big list. But yeah, so my name on that is Straw Hat Goofy. That's straw_hat_goofy. You can also find me on Instagram and YouTube under Straw Hat Movies. That's the same thing. Just switch out Goofy for movies. Don't ask why it's different. I just like them both, and I just want to gobble up all the usernames. So yeah. So if you love movies, I'm your guy. Oh, and just want to plug one more thing. There is a new way to watch movies together. It's called Scener.com. It's a new app. It's a Google Chrome extension, and been one of my most requested. So pretty much it's like Twitch, except you could just watch movies together live. So make sure you guys hit me up for the link. You can check. There's I'll put the link in my Instagram bio. That way you can create your account and you'll be able to watch movies with me on Netflix, HBO, and Vimeo. And hosting a watch party of The Five Bloods, the new Spike Lee joint, on Netflix. So make sure you get that link and we'll watch that movie together. That's my daughter. She's saying hi.
Hi.
Yes, we're gonna get cookies and everything.
She is such a cute kid. We just posted Erica's and Julian's Instagrams on the chat. So if you guys are interested, please follow them. If you want to follow me or Paola on TikTok, we do cat videos and model kit videos, and I do weird insights and puppets and stuff.
How am I following your cat videos? I love TikTok cat videos.
Yeah, and I do the best. I do Gundam model ones.
The ones that Pal does. Oh my god, those are freaking killer. The music. Oh my god.
Yeah,
they kill me.
Yeah.
You do more.
Paola, it's Paola CK. Paola CK, and I'm one word. Marker is awesome. Because Marker is awesome. Just like Marker can't lose. I love it.
I'm trying to find the lie in that statement. Marker is awesome. There's no lie.
No lies detected.
I love the name. No one's ever going to take it.
Well, hey, thank you, community. We appreciate you for being here, and it was awesome to do another Thespian Theater. We hope to do one again within the month. We're not quite certain which one, Agrasuco, but we're leaning towards one or two. So we'll see how that works out, Agrasuco, because we really want to do something unique, something kind of different, something that we can go ahead and do vocals in. So look forward to something kind of different. So we love you guys from us at 12 Comic Talk.